when you are on the bench, on nights when you don't get in as much, you still seem to be engaged. You still seem to be dancing with the guys and whatnot. What does it take to have that mentality to still be, the team guy when you aren't getting the minutes you sometimes regularly do?
I mean, we're a good team, and, it's hard to always get the minutes you want. We got so many good players, and I love all of them, and we're super tight. So it's always a great time seeing everybody else play well.
All right, Musa, thank you. We get CJ in here.
Yes, sir.
All right, CJ, thanks for joining us, bud. We'll go ahead and start with Adam Jardi and Patrick Murphy on deck. Adam.
CJ, congrats on the win. And in the second half there, they take the lead. They seem to be in control a little bit. You had a number of plays that kind of got things turned around.
Yeah.
How much do you take that on your shoulders when you're playing in a game like this to try to be the guy that sparks something?
I've been in college basketball for a long time, so I kind of, the game is full of runs. Penn State is a really good team. They're really good at home. They made a lot of tough shots early, so they just got really comfortable. Like I said, I played a lot of games experience, so I just know it's a game of runs. So, I just kind of gather my team together to know just one possession at a time. Just keep fighting. I feel like that's what our team does really well, just keep fighting one possession at a time. I just feel like we just did that at a high level, in the second half.
Was there one play that you thought helped turn it around? You had a couple of big buckets. EJ had a big bucket late, but was there one play that you felt really kind of sparked that run?
I would just say overall, just our defense, they didn't get a lot of second chance points. And good at that with offensive rebounding. So I just feel like our stop just kind of got us going. We didn't let our offense, affect what was going on the other end. We just got big time stops. I think KY had, I think he just got to the line. We made some free throws and we just seen the ball, go in a few times and, we just got comfortable when we made our run late in that second half.
All right. Next up is Patrick Murphy with Timmy Hall on deck. Patrick.
DJ, I don't know if we've talked to you since you came back. The hand, how's it feeling? Obviously, we can see your fingers are taped together. How does that hinder things for you? Just how's it been since coming back, and how's dealing with this injury as you play through it?
It's getting a lot better. I do treatment each and every day, off days, after practice, before practice, just do a lot of treatment. I play with 3 of my fingers taped together, so it's kind of difficult to be able to dribble with my right hand sometimes. But in practice each and every day, it just becomes a routine. I'm just getting better each and every day with it, getting more comfortable. I'm just confident in it. Like I said, it doesn't hurt as bad in games, unless I dive on the floor a certain way or hit the ball a certain way. But other than that, I feel fine and I feel confident.
And I know you're a competitor, and coming off the bench is a different role for you for this team. Yeah. Talk to us about embracing that. I know you're still playing plenty of minutes, but just the decision to embrace that role and kind of be the team guy here when you came back from the injury after things were rolling.
Oh yeah, me and Coach Holt had a talk. When I first came back and got cleared, the team was rolling. We won at Illinois. I think we won 2 or 3 games before that. We were on a winning streak. They were playing really well. And I just told Coach, I don't want to not mess up a flow, but not mess it up and just let them do what they were doing. They were playing really well together, start building chemistry and playing with each other. And like you said, I still play a lot of minutes, so it wasn't a thing where my minutes were reducted or I had any resistance on playing and being free, doing my thing when I get on the court. So there was never, any time, be selfish. Kind of like Musa said, we had a really good team. You just fit in, do what you have to do to contribute. My coaches believe in me and my teammates do as well. So, once I get on the floor, I just make best of what I got and just go hard each and every play.
Next up is Tim Hall. We'll finish up with Sean Dunnigan. Tim.
Yes, CJ, more on that, man. It's almost reminiscent of that stretch you had at the end of last season, if you remember. Yeah. It just seems like your game is at a place where you're not taking no for an answer, whether it's hitting a shot, lockdown defense. Just speak to your overall game right now.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I'm just really confident. Big Ten, it gets tough. You just got to make it over that hump. And I feel like a lot of teams, kind of forget what my capabilities on the offensive end or defensive end. I just take advantage of it. And I've just been really confident, especially, sometimes some players go through certain droughts. And I just feel like I pick up on that end towards the end of the season. I just want to win. So I'm just feeling really good, really confident. I'm just going out there playing, the best I can to try to win.
All right. And our last questions will come from Sean Dunnigan. Sean.
CJ, tough games like this How important are they when you look at the rest of your schedule ahead, especially with Michigan coming up on Sunday? How does a game like this prepare you for Sunday and the rest of the schedule?
Penn State's a really good team. They play hard. They play aggressive, good defensively. They make a lot of things hard on the offensive end. Really good on the offensive end as well, making threes and things like that. And it's not an easy game to win. You're not going to come in here and just take the game from them. They're going to play hard. So that's pretty much every night. And we haven't – Ohio State hasn't won here in the past 4 years. So that was a big thing for us, just to try to, change that narrative, to know that we can win on the road here. Just play really well. And obviously Michigan's a really good team, #1 in the league right now. And that's going to be a big game. So wins like this, just build confidence, just keep it pushing, to keep winning.
Have you had that Michigan game circled on the calendar at all now that you have this Penn State game out of the way?
Most definitely. That's a big game for, not just me as a player, but Ohio State as a program. That's a really big game for us. We're going to go out there and play as hard as we can and, try to win, play against the best and beat the best. And, that's what we do. And we want to play them at their best, and we're going to give our best. The best is going to win at the end of the night. I feel like our team is capable of doing that. So most definitely, a big game that you circle and get excited for.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. CJ, appreciate the time, buddy.
All right. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Dan peeking in, getting everything ready. He wanted me to tell you that he'll have a local Zoom tomorrow. He's just got to figure out a time yet, but planning on a Zoom sometime tomorrow.
Jeez. Goodness gracious. I don't know if they're coming.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. Floor is yours if you want it, Coach, or do you want to go to questions?
No, I'll make an opening statement. Yeah, a lot of respect for this Penn State team. I told Jim that they are just a difficult matchup for us, and they really. Can we shut that door, Dan? Can we shut that door? Thank you. they're a difficult matchup for us, and they give them credit. I thought they battled. I love the leadership on. You can just tell with the way they compete with their group, in particular, Wheeler and Hare, just warriors. I thought for us, our bench really carried us, and then players win games, and our players made plays offensively. We were not good enough defensively. We've got to coach and play better defensively, but our group collectively, offensively, was really good again.
All right, we'll start off with Adam Jardi and Patrick Murphy on deck. Adam.
Chris, as you look at maybe especially that first half, you talk about not being good enough defensively. They did hit a number of tough shots. Did you feel that you guys were playing with the appropriate effort, and were guys executing the game plan, or were they just making shots that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Adam. And I've got to look at it. Honestly, I thought it was a combination of both. I thought we were not playing with enough force, and we did not close airspace quickly enough. And I also thought that we were not physical enough on the ball at the point of attack. I did not think our ball screen coverage was connected enough. But I also thought they made some tough shots. I did. I felt like they made some really, really hard shots. That's after, first blush here, seeing it with the naked eye. We'll see. But I felt like overall, we got to be better on that end. They shot 54% in the first half, and they shot 43% from three. We didn't challenge enough shots, but they did. They've got shot makers. They've got guys that can really make shots. I thought we had to change our ball screen coverage. I did think that helped us a little bit.
And the nights that you got from both EJ and Dwayne, maybe as effective as we've seen the two of them both be when you look at how many points they scored, how many shots they took. And on a night when you score as much as you do, how much did you need that, given the way Penn State was making shots?
Yeah, our offense carried us. I thought our bench and our offense, and that's not always going to happen. We're not always going to get that production offensively. We're going to play teams that present different challenges, and our offense carried us tonight, and our production from our bench, from CJ, Musa, Zed, Michi, Seth, Eugene, all of them were really good.
All right, next up is Patrick Murphy with Bruce Hooley on deck. Patrick.
Chris, we've talked about CJ a decent amount since he's come back, but we were just the first time we talked to him, and he mentioned the conversation you guys had when he was coming back and deciding to stay coming off the bench as opposed to messing up that rotation that you had, the starting rotation. Do you look at him as a starter that just doesn't start, or how do you view him, and what does it say about a guy that he's willing to kind of take that role after being a starter for so long?
Yeah, I mean, he plays 25 to 30 minutes a night, which is no different than when he started. Certainly, he's a sixth starter. There's no question, and I think he sees it that way, as do I. We kind of talked about that. We've got six starters. Just somebody maybe coming off in the after the first 4-minute media. So. Yeah, CJ's done a great job. He was tremendous tonight, tremendous. And I thought he really, for the most part, with the exception of a couple fouls, I thought just he was tremendous on both ends.
To some guys, though, I feel like that starting five matters. And I know you've talked about that you don't think it matters, but I know players sometimes do. He seems like a guy that just doesn't care. Is that an appropriate way to look at it?
I mean, I think he's a guy he's old, he understands the game. And I think if his minutes if he was playing 15 minutes, it would bother him. I do think that he wants to play. But I also think he's got great maturity, and the fact that he's played well speaks to his character and how invested he is. That is who CJ Walker is. We've been saying that, right, for 3 years, including his redshirt year. he is a high character kid who understands winning. And I think he understood if I didn't accept that, then it was probably going to affect my play. And he had great maturity. And what's now, when you get outside yourself and you invest in the success of your team and your teammates, and I think he recognized that, usually good things happen when you're a good player. And he's a good player.
All right, next up is Bruce Hooley with Stephen Means on deck. Bruce.
Yeah, you have talked and we have laughed about Dwayne being the early death of you. He had 20-some points tonight on 9 shots. That's about as efficient as I've ever seen him. I just wonder what you thought of him.
Yeah, Bruce, he's gotten better. He's gotten better in that area. I think you've seen probably, there are stretches where he struggles, right? He struggles with his efficiency. He had a couple of 2s that I didn't love early in the second half, and I made that clear to him. But I've loved his efficiency here of late.
And I don't know if you want to admit this. There were 3 threes you guys took in the second half. All of them could have been in the oh no category. All of them worked out well for you. Dwayne's 4-point play right in front of you. Eugene in the left corner. And then Kyle took one late that ended up getting a 5th on their big guy. I just wondered if any of those were like, you were not wild about them at the time, but happy with the result.
I was okay with all 3. Yeah, Bruce, I was okay with all 3. Dwayne and CJ have this rapport on a really quick, off of an action. It's just kind of a quick read. So I was okay with that one. And I believe, I'll have to look at it, but I believe Gene's was a corner 3 wide open. Kyle's was semi-challenged, but I was fine with his too.
Is Seth okay?
Yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I gotta talk to Brad here, but I think he's going to be fine. At least, he feels like fine. But we are really banged up. We are. I almost had to pull Kyle in the guts of the game. A couple other guys, Musa. We are really banged up. So we need a really good day in the training room tomorrow.
All right, next up is Stephen Means with Spencer Holbrook on deck. Stephen.
Chris, I don't know if they talked about this on the broadcast or not, but the John Thompson towel.
Yeah.
Can you just give us some detail what went into that? And also you wore it like he wore it. So can you just?
Yeah, Stephen. So those of us that grew up watching college basketball, you had certain guys that you really, really admired. And we lost a couple coaching icons here in the last couple years. You lost Lute Olson. I'm going to forget guys, but you lost Lute Olson. You lost John Chaney. Obviously, we all know what John Thompson means to college basketball, but those are coaching icons for me. And I grew up watching their teams, but I also grew up as a young player thinking about coaching, saying, you know what, I'd like to coach my teams the way they coach their teams. I'd like to coach my team the way John Thompson coached his team, and the way John Chaney coached his team. I would love for people in Lute Olson, I'd love for people to say our teams play with that competitive spirit and discipline. And, the NABC came up with an idea on wearing, a towel the way he wore it. Now, mine fell off on the floor multiple times. I didn't quite wear it nearly as well as John and Coach Thompson did. But, I had a chance to coach against his son and had great respect for his son. But, those are icons in the game that we sorely miss. And I'm glad we have a chance to honor him this week.
And just kind of looking ahead here, I know this is a big win for you guys, and this is a tough win, but given what the rivalry is, Ohio State, Michigan, what it usually is in football, and not happening this year, and then also this is a top 5 matchup, the significance of it. I don't know. Do you guys pay a little bit more attention to it this year? Do you guys do something like how the football team kind of does something on a daily basis that's Michigan related? Does the basketball team do anything close to that?
Yeah, we'll talk more about Michigan tomorrow. I believe we're going to have a press conference tomorrow at some point where we can dive more into those that particular game, Stephen. I would just tell you that, I've had a chance to just watch them a little bit. They're tremendous. They're a legit national champion contender. Legit. I just think they're phenomenal. So, but we'll talk more about them tomorrow if that's okay.
That's cool.
Next up is Spencer Holbrook with Jared Smalley up next. So it's Spencer.
Chris, you had talked about how you guys didn't want to overlook this game at all, and it was apparent why, and especially in the first half there, and then that run that they went on. How much of this game is just surviving in this league? Like this game seemed to embody like the term surviving in the Big Ten more than most like you guys have had in the last 7 games, I say.
Do I look like I just survived? Yeah, that's exactly, I think, how we all feel. We just give them credit. They made it really difficult for us, but yeah, that was a tough one, as we expected it to be.
All right, Jared Smalley up and Brendan Gulick on deck. Jared.
Well, Chris, building on that a little bit, you had mentioned that, old wins in college basketball, and you've got old players on this team and guys that have kind of been through it a little bit. So how reassured were you that even with what was looming here Sunday, that when they arrived tonight, they would arrive the way you wanted them to, with the focus and with the intensity you wanted them to? It seems like with a team that's grown up like you have, maybe you have more confidence that actually happened.
Yeah. Repeat the last part again there. I'm sorry. There's somebody was yelling out.
No problem. Just making the point that with a team like yours, a veteran group, you would probably, as a coaching staff, have a little bit more confidence. They would arrive tonight, not looking ahead, and with an intensity and a focus. And when did you realize tonight that was what you were getting out of them?
Shoot around. I thought shoot around. Our guys had great preparation. We just didn't play with enough force, physicality. We didn't close airspace. We weren't as detailed as we needed to be defensively for the bulk of the first half, and really through the first stretch of the second half. We just weren't good enough on that end in those stretches. That's my fault. And but I did not think that our guys were looking beyond anything other than this game. I thought they were locked in on this game. I thought their preparation was very good. I thought they brought the appropriate amount of focus, understanding how good this Penn State team is. And I'm glad they're rewarded with the win. But I sensed that in shoot around this morning. Our guys were locked in. I think they were locked in, but give Penn State credit. They made it very difficult for us. We have to be better defensively, but I did not think our guys were looking at anything beyond this Penn State game.
All right, we'll start our last few questions here with Brendan Gulick and Colin Hass-Hill on deck. Brendan.
Hey, Chris, it seems like when you play Penn State, they have this real team effort mindset of crashing the glass. They only had one player that played tonight that didn't have an offensive rebound, and that was a similar story the last time you played them. And I know it turned into, I think it was 16 second chance points. What is so difficult about boxing out a team like Penn State?
They fly in, as you said, from variety of positions, Brendan. Point guard, 2 guard, wings, bigs. Their big is the best offensive rebounding big by numbers wise in our league, but they fly in at all kinds of numbers.
And how about the point in the second half where things were starting to slip? I think it was something like 2 of 8, shooting the ball from the floor the first few minutes, and EJ had picked up a couple of early fouls, and then you put him back in the game. I think it was the 13-22 mark, and then all of a sudden it ripped off a 15-0 run. How much of that are you coaching with feel of, hey, this offense really needs EJ back on the floor, versus, hey, this is a point in the game where you could take the risk of putting a player back in, with 3 fouls and having picked up 2 like that?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the season, you're really, honestly, you're in games like this, you're led by your older guys. And I consider EJ now an older guy, as experienced as he is. So we were going to finish the game as they kind of willed us to. And, so I felt good about putting them back in. But, those guys stepped up and raised their level effort defensively, and then obviously finish the game offensively.
All right, next up is Colin Hass-Hill, and then we'll have one more final follow-up from Adam Jardi. Colin.
Chris, you always talk about the importance of having, veterans, and especially at the guard position. I think we probably saw some of that tonight. I know CJ and Dwayne, I think they had 16 shots, 34 points. What's the importance of just having two guys who've been around, they've been in games like this, and they sort of know how to respond in those kind of moments in the second half?
Yeah, no, it's critical. It's critical. I think having older guards is really, really important because they've been through all of these moments, or a lot of these moments. And they're not, those guys are fearless too. And it's how they play. It's who they are. They're fearless, but they also understand what winning possessions late look like. And sometimes younger guards don't understand what winning possessions late look like. I think our guys, our older guys, do at this point. And that just comes from being a part of a lot of games that are close and hopefully winning your share.
All right, well, I'll finish up with Adam Jardi. Adam?
Chris, you were as adamant as I think I've seen you in some at times this season. This game seemed to really matter. I know they all matter and they're all important, but given some of the struggles that Penn State has given you in the last few years, was there any extra personal feeling or satisfaction in this game? Did this mean anything extra to you? You had not had any real success in this building coming in.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
I've got some numbers if you want them, but
no, I got them, Adam. I know exactly where they haven't been close, Adam. 2 times we played here, they have not been close. So obviously you're aware of that as a coach, but they're nothing personal in the sense that I've got great respect for their players and for Jim, but I think there might have been some of that, Adam, but also a lot of it was, we have such a gauntlet here. So it's just the one that you can, if you feel like you have a chance to win a game late, you want to be able to close it out and win it because of what we have ahead of us too. I think you're also aware of that. Some of that you lose sight of in the moment. You're just trying to play to win the next possession. But, I have not done a good job getting our guys, for whatever reason, ready for, the offensive, onslaught and the physicality here. And, I don't know if I did a great job tonight. We were just able to weather it.
Thanks.
Awesome. Coach, I know you love these late tips on the road. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow sometime, I'm sure.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. Appreciate it, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Look for an email from Dan.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Welcome. See y'all.